Hi, I'm Frank Olhorst with eChannel Line, and we're here at the Asigra Partner Summit, and we're going to find out some interesting things about Asigra, the company, the services it offers, and what it can do for partners. One of those new technologies that the company is talking about here is RLM, and I'm going to allow my esteemed guest to introduce himself and talk about RLM.
Hi, my name is Eran Farajun. I'm an Executive Vice President here at Asigra. Asigra is a software company. It's based in Toronto, Canada. And the recovery license model is what RLM stands for. And that's it's basically a new way of how to price backup and recovery. So traditionally, the way backup and recovery was priced is it's always been based on how much or how little you back up. And the price was purely based on, have you got 100 gigabytes, have you got a terabyte, 10 terabytes, and so on. So that price always was based on how much you back up. And the result of that was that customers constantly have growing costs because they keep making new data. As they generate new data, it costs them more.
So as these customers move into areas such as big data and things like that, their backup costs were probably skyrocketing way up there.
They do. They grow, north of 50% year over year because they generate more data, they create more copies of the data in multiple locations and so on. So if you're paying purely based on how much you back up, you can expect your costs to grow because you generate more data every year. So that's the first problem with that. Customers were looking to figure out, how do I lower my costs? So one of the ways the industry was doing this was discounting. The industry was famous for this. Sure, let me lower the price. So there's a difference between the price and the cost. Let me lower the price for you, and they keep doing that. The problem with lowering the price is that it's unsustainable for the channel, right? The margins go down, it makes it uninteresting, it hurts your support capability and so on. And the customer always is beholden to the channel partner waiting for the end of year deal, the end of quarter deal, the discounting, that whole routine. So long term, it's unsustainable. Why? Because there's no ceiling to the growth of data, but there's absolutely a floor for partners related to the cost of delivering a backup service.
Yeah, if you keep cutting the prices, you get down to the point where they're paying absolutely almost nothing for backup.
It's not interesting to the partners anymore. So that's the first problem. The second problem was that it's not fair. And it's not fair to the end customers because some customers are very good at managing their IT environment. They update their software, they upgrade their hardware, they train their people, so they don't lose a lot of data. So they don't do a lot of recoveries.
So basically you're rewarding the customers that know about resiliency and how to properly protect their systems by lowering the prices in that respect.
Based on performance. That's precisely so. So if they recover less, they'll pay less. Now, why is this interesting for channel partners is, number one, the end customer rewards themselves and the behavior is directed in the right manner. But number two, the analytics and the information about the recoveries is shared real time with the partner. So if you're a partner and you know that your customers are recovering mostly Exchange or SharePoint or Oracle or whatever, and then you can help your customer iron out problems with those environments or train the people.
It becomes a service opportunity beyond backup and recovery. Wow,
that's
wonderful.
Exactly right. So it creates new ancillary offerings for the partners. And the reason is that in our ecosystem, and we have hundreds of service providers and partners that we work with globally nowadays, they all have different business models. So there's primarily three models in the backup recovery industry. The first one is centric, so the partners is backup centric. They mostly or only do backup and recovery services or services around backup and recovery. They might be leading complementary, which means they lead with cloud backup and recovery. They use it to open the door, and they sell other complementary services behind that. Or it's the reverse. They might be trailing complementary, which means they sell and lead with other things, and backup is really just the last car on the train. It gets attached.
It kind of becomes, would you like fries with that?
Exactly. We can also do this for you.
So in effect, you guys are kind of like an online matchmaking service for your channel partners.
We are. When we have a dialogue with the partner and they initially reach out to us and they say, I think I'm interested in delivering a backup service. So we talk to them about their business objectives, the kind of markets they go after, the kind of customers they have. If at the end of the day, it turns out that because of the way they're set up and the capabilities they have, it's better for them to actually work with an existing Asigra partner that has a wholesale model, because not all partners have wholesale models, then we absolutely act as a matchmaking service, depending on their geography, depending on their vertical. And we do that. We act as a matchmaking service, and we introduce partners to each other. And those are relationships that sometimes last for years. Sometimes they're introductory services, and they start for 12 months, 24 months, whatever. And then the partner backup becomes more strategic to them. Then they bring it in-house. They buy their own Asigra license. They create their own repositories. They train their own team, and they move from being a cloud service broker to actually being a cloud service provider and owning the infrastructure.
So I gather you offer some sort of a cloud-based portal to your partners to help make this work easier for them.
We do. We have a partner portal, and it's got a ton of information on it around marketing and sales and compensation plans, and it's got templates of business practices and best practices, business processes and best practices. They're basically how to set up and productize backup and recovery depending on your business model, centric, leading, or trailing complementary, because they're different and you need to treat them differently. And one of the common mistakes we see partners doing is they will set themselves up. Their compensation plan might look like the one appropriate for a trailing complementary, although their business is leading complementary. Or their pricing might be for a backup-centric partner, but really they're a leading complementary. So we help them align these aspects of their business so that they don't have as much friction in their business in their model, and they basically generate more demand and they win more business. And we're a software company. We make technology. We work with our partners to basically enable them to drive more and more monthly recurring revenues. That's the objective.
Excellent. All right, we're about out of time for today, and I want to thank you for joining me. And I'm going to say to our viewers out there, if this sounds like something interesting to you, because there's a lot more to the story, I'm sure, be sure to hit up Asigra's website and gather some more information.
Thank you, Frank, for having me.
Thank you.